This is the 2024 edition of the Boise Dev Construction Tour. We're at the corner of Grove Street and 10th Street in Boise. Usually we have to walk all over and drive all over town to do these, but from this one location we can actually see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of our construction projects all in one location. We'll go through each of these individually. Let's start with Hotel 43. This project just about wrapped up. Crews have been working here to revamp the lobby and the hotel rooms at this boutique hotel in downtown Boise. They've been working also on some facade work and converting the meeting room here and updating all the finishes. Those windows right there are new. It's the upgrades at Hotel 43. Just a few feet away is a new 14-story hotel project that's going to go up right along Grove Street from Eagles Penbridge Lodging. This project will have about 270 hotel rooms, restaurants, and space like that. It's actually going to be 2 brands. It's going to be AC Element and a Westin offshoot brand. And these 2 hotels will kind of work as one, but they're aimed at a little bit of a different segment of the hotel market. And that is right here along Grove Street. Crews are in the thick of a series of upgrades to Grove Street in a couple of different ways. They're redoing the streetscapes. This is a project by the Capital City Development Corporation, which is a semi-public agency that uses tax increment financing. It's called Urban Renewal, if you're familiar. And they're spending these dollars to redo the streets here. There's also some work going on here at the intersection. In a bit, we'll show you up the street, further up Grove Street, where more of this project is going on. That's 2 new hotels and streetscape improvements along Grove Street. Moving up the block a little bit, this is the old Safari Inn on Grove Street at 11th. This project from Oppenheimer Companies and what was formerly called Nest Partners will revamp the old Safari Inn into some new hotel rooms. This project will have about 65 units or so in this 3-story building. You might remember this. It used to be actually attached to another building across an alley on Main Street that was redone into apartments. Now they're redoing the hotel here. The old lobby space has been completely redone. You'll notice that there is an Airstream trailer here on the corner. That will be a food truck. And that awning will be patio space for the Sparrow. This project was really quiet when we visited this about a year ago, and construction seemed to kind of taper off, but is back in full swing, and it looks like, to my eye, we'll see this open here later this year. So this is kind of hotel row. We started with Hotel 43, and then we moved on to the AC Element project. We just talked about the Sparrow. One more hotel. This is Hotel Renegade. By the time I get this video edited and you're watching it, this may be open. They promised that they would open up some of the public spaces in early May. They didn't make that. We're taping this on May 21st, and I hope to post this in the next week, so they might be getting close to open. This project from Wisconsin-based Hendricks Commercial Properties will include some very high-end hotel rooms. We did a story on this earlier this year. We're talking about copper bathtubs and a kind of party shower where you're on display in the hotel room while you shower. On the roof up there is going to be a new skyline bar called the Highlander. There's also some multi-function event space up there. On the ground floor, we've got Blue Collar Coffee, which will open soon, and another bar, and also a restaurant called Hotel Baraboo. Those should all open pretty soon, and then following that, the hotel will open. That is Hotel Renegade at 11th and Grove. Crews continue to work on the Broadstone Saratoga project at 12th Street and Front in downtown. This project was originally envisioned to be one large building, but as it went through the process with the city of Boise, they actually required them to, as I said in the story, cut a hole in the middle to maintain the alley access down the middle here. So it's 2 buildings that'll kind of work as one unit with some connections. 2 horseshoe shapes. You can kind of see the horseshoe there on each side. This will have about 300 apartments from Alliance Residential. This site, you might remember, used to be the Tree Fort main stage a few years ago. There was the old heating and cooling building that was used by Sue Lata Art and some other things. that was all torn down and razed for this project, the Broadstone Saratoga Apartments on 12th Street in Boise. Okay, I promised you 7 projects from that initial spot, and this is the 7th so far, and possibly the one that is the most talked about construction project in Boise right now, other than maybe the Micron project. This is the Arthur Apartments from Oppenheimer Development Company and White Oak Realty Partners. Primarily, this is going to be apartments. Over here is the Record Exchange. You can't see it, but behind this brick building is the Record Exchange. And then the rest of that block is taken up by this apartment complex. This was, I was actually looking at my notes, and it was variously described as 26 or 27 stories. I just counted. There are 20. I know you're amazed I can count this high. There are 27 stories here, including about 7 stories of parking. The ground floor will have retail, and then the rest will be apartments, about 300 of them. The top of the building has this kind of a unique cut glass look. It's meant to look a bit like the Sawtooth Mountains in central Idaho. Up there's going to be a pool and some other amenity areas for residents of this building. We're hoping to get inside to do a more full tour for you here in the coming months. I think we'll be able to do that. This project is the most elevator stops of any building in Idaho. And you might say, well, is it just the tallest? That's a little subjective. The Zions Bank Tower, which is right down there, is sort of taller. It has a spire on the corner. And the Boise Airport Tower by the airport is actually a touch taller too. But this one has the most elevator stops. And part of the reason for that is residential floors tend to be a little shorter than office floors. So this gets to 27 elevator stops. It'll be the first time you can step out of an elevator onto the 27th floor in a building in Idaho. How about that? How's that for legislating this carefully? This project is slated to open later this year. They're already pre-leasing, and I'm hoping to get you inside to get you a better tour of the Arthur in downtown Boise. This is the Smith Block building, and we are right along Main Street. You can see Mulligan's right there, Count, Sid's Garage. You might remember this used to be the Art Source Gallery with its very distinctive facade here. It's a gallery home to many local artists. They moved, and this started to see some construction. It's been pretty quiet for a while. I know I'm really close and I'm trying to not get out into the street, but this project would put a new bar on the ground floor called the Cub Tavern. The Cub Tavern used to be where Bar Guernica is, and there's a classic sign to that would move to this location. And the second floor would host some office space. Be a new staircase that would go straight up the middle here, right where you see 1015 there. You know, the Idaho Statesman did a story on this. And they said this is the last unremodeled building in downtown Boise. That's not really quite right. There's a bunch. The Empire Building, the building next to the Empire Building where US Bank is, and there's some others, but this is definitely one of the older unremodeled buildings in Boise, although it's remodeled now. But like I said, construction progress has been pretty quiet here at the Smith Block building in downtown Boise. This is the intersection of 5th Street and Grove Street in downtown Boise. This is a project by the Capital City Development Corporation to revamp Grove Street from 6th Street to 3rd Street. They've ripped up the old street, most of the sidewalks, and are replacing it. This is going to be, in some ways, kind of an extension of the Basque Block, which is down off there in the distance. It won't use Basque symbols and iconography like the Basque Block does. Won't have the green and red stained concrete, and won't formally be an extension of it, but in some functional ways it will be. Festals and those types of things could extend into this space. This is the future ICCU building in downtown Boise, along 4th Street between Idaho and Bannock. This will be a new 13-story building from Ventures Alquist, Peregrine Group, and Idaho Central Credit Union. You might remember there used to be an ICCU branch over on the opposite corner over here. They tore that down to build this building, which will take up about 2/3 of a city block. And This project was initially entitled in 2021, approved, and hasn't gone up yet, but late last year, late in 2023, they started progress, and you can see they are doing kind of some of the initial site work to get this going. There will be a tower crane here on this site. The 13-story building will have about roughly 130 apartments, including some rent-restricted units. We'll also have restaurant sites with patios along the corner here, a new Idaho Central Credit Union branch, and some ICCU back office functions. It'll also have some medical office and then some general office. So you talk about mixed use. It'll have a little bit of retail, a little bit of office, a little bit of residential, all baked into one building. It's the new ICCU building at 4th and Idaho from BDA and Idaho Central Credit Union. You are looking at the future expansion of St. Luke's Regional Medical Center in downtown Boise. This project was actually approved quite some time ago. You might remember a very contentious process in 2017 and 2018 to get this approved. Neighbors were pretty upset by the closure that has now happened of Jefferson Street through the campus. St. Luke's at one point threatened to move its main regional medical center out of Boise and to Meridian. Ultimately, the city of Boise decided to approve it, and then it kind of sat. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic happened in the middle there. We've had a lot of things happen in the interim. We had the new Children's Center, Skybridge built. There used to be a large sequoia tree in the corner down here. It was actually literally moved down the street to this new location. Some buildings torn down and quite a bit more. It will make way for an expansion of the main hospital, which will have more than 80 new patient beds, 7 new operating rooms, and more. It will be attached to a medical office building that will kind of be in this area here. It'll actually cantilever, well, maybe not cantilever, it will go over the street here. Cars will still go under First Street. It'll connect to the area where I'm standing, which is this parking garage. In all, it'll be more than 1 million new square feet to expand the hospital, which was built more than 100 years ago. We've had a couple of questions from readers about some construction activity in the garage. From the outside, you're like, what are they doing? They're actually building some construction offices in the parking garage. That's how long this project will take, that they're building sort of permanent office space here for construction workers. The main campus expansion at St. Luke's Regional Medical Center in downtown Boise. Here we are at Boise Town Square, where the mall is not under construction, but behind me, you might remember there used to be a Pier 1 Imports store here with its famous blue roof. There's still a smaller building with that blue roof, but Pier 1 is gone, and Idaho's second In-N-Out Burger is well under construction. I was told actually that this was the first In-N-Out that was kind of in the works, and for a myriad of reasons, the Village at Meridian store actually got opened first last winter. But this store is well on its way, very similar format. I know a lot of people talk about the lines. I actually think there's still a line from the first day at the In-N-Out in Meridian. Not really, but it definitely has been a long process of people waiting in line for a burger and fries out there. But we'll see a little bit of that here, I would imagine. This will have a very large drive-through. It'll actually wrap around the building, and it'll come all the way out to the edge of the property. And then, as you probably are aware, if you've ever been to the mall, it has this ring road on it too, which I would guess they'll use to manage traffic when it opens. This is Idaho's second In-N-Out Burger. A creaky gate flapping in the wind is about the only activity out here in Meridian, in downtown near City Hall at the site of Union 93. This project from Galena the Galena Opportunity Fund was going to be a 7-story project, mixed use with 300 apartment units, retail, and more. And the site has been abandoned, essentially, at least of construction workers, and really anything, since December of 2022. Now we're heading towards mid-2024. This project, using some urban renewal funds and some other participation, is not moving forward. And Galena, the developer behind this, is mired in lawsuits over this project and some other projects that they were developing, including a similar one in Tacoma, Washington. Galena was evicted from its downtown Boise office space this spring as well. This project, the fate is really unknown. There's definitely some anxiety from the city of Meridian. City council members said they really don't want to see this become Meridian's version of the Boise Hole, which, if you've been around a long time, you know, was a high-profile abandoned construction site at 8th and Main in downtown Boise that eventually became the Zions Bank Tower, but not until it sat for a decade. We're going to keep following this story. We've done quite a few stories, and we will keep on this. It's the, for now, abandoned Union 93 site from Galena Opportunity Fund in Meridian. This is the new dorm project at Boise State University. This project's flown a tiny bit under the radar, in large part because, other than this campus security officer, not a lot of people drive by or see this on a regular basis unless you happen to be on campus. But you can see there's a tower crane here. This project from Boise State University, of course, and Leighton Construction, as well as Hummel Architects, will bring 450 new beds to campus for students, which is a very significant number of residential units. The project will go up 6 stories here, and we'll have views overlooking the Boise River, as a bunch of the dorms do here, sort of the legacy dorms. But this project will be actually quite a bit taller. Kind of an interesting shape. It juts out here towards the greenbelt and then pushes back along there. Kind of not an S shape, but sort of. And this project is underway, as I mentioned, and should be done by fall of 2025. So not for students this year, but next, and will add significant student housing capacity to the campus at Boise State. This is the new Phillip E. Batt building, home of the Wassmuth Center for Human Rights. It is being built right on the edge of the Idaho Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial. And this building is actually really impressive because it's really just kind of wedged in here. Really beautiful project, I think, is a fair way to put this, from Erstad Architects and the Wassmuth Center. Sitting right along the Boise River Greenbelt, and just kind of elegantly tucked into this site. We're near the Boise Library. This will give some new interpretive center space and office space for the Wassmuth Center right here in downtown Boise. That wraps up our construction tour around the Boise area. A lot of Boise projects this time. We'll keep on some other things. I wanted to mention there's 2 projects that I didn't actually talk about, but we're doing something on, and they are the biggest projects. That is the new Meta data center out in Kuna, and then, of course, the expansion of Micron technology, that $15 million project that's well underway. We're going to do a special set of videos on those here this summer. So they're not in this construction tour, but stay tuned to boisedev.com for that, and thanks for watching.